Lewis Hamilton is the most marketable driver in Formula One, but he is also the sport's most divisive figure. The three-time world champion has gotten just as much attention off the track as he has on it for his superb and contentious driving. From spraying a grid girl right in the face to misleading stewards while racing in Australia. Stay tuned to find out some of the most controversial moments from Lewis Hamilton's career. Hamilton misleads the stewards in Australia. In 2009, Hamilton's first title defense began on a bad note. At the season opening race in Melbourne, he appeared to have hauled McLaren's uncompetitive challenger to a podium, but he became engaged in controversy over what happened in the final laps. Jarno Trulli, who was running fourth due to a late safety car, skidded off the road and was passed legally by Hamilton for third. On the following lap, Hamilton slowed to allow Trulli to pass under the safety car and retake third place, as McLaren had recommended. However, after the race, he told the media that he had received no orders to follow Trulli pass, implying that the Italian had passed him illegally. The Toyota driver was relegated to 12th position. The subject was reviewed at the next race in Malaysia, where Hamilton continued to insist on the advice of team manager Dave Ryan that he had not been directed to allow Trulli pass. The radio transmission of McLaren, on the other hand, proved different. For being deliberately deceptive, Hamilton was disqualified from the race. Ryan was fired, and McLaren had given a suspended 3-race punishment. Hamilton felt compelled to appear in front of the media and apologize to his fans for being duped by Ryan. Fernando Alonso feud. The next controversy on this list involves a feud between Lewis Hamilton and Fernando Alonso. Hamilton was paired with Fernando Alonso, the reigning Formula One world champion, during his debut season at McLaren. Alonso had joined the team from Renault. The two never got along and had a number of spats, notably an incident in Hungary where Alonso waited in the pit to prevent Hamilton from completing a flying lap. Alonso left McLaren at the end of the season to return to Renault, despite McLaren's faith in Hamilton. The Ali G joke that majorly backfired. If there was ever a season that Hamilton would like to forget, it's 2011. His McLaren was erratic, and he looked to be driving a car that had a magnetic affinity to Felipe Massa and Pastor Maldonado. Following collisions with both in Monaco, which resulted in 2 different time penalties, Hamilton expressed his displeasure with the stewards after the race. However, he did so in a sloppy fashion, echoing the catchphrase of Ali G, Borat creator Sacha Baron Cohen's original spoof character. When asked why he thought the stewards had summoned him 5 times in 6 races, Hamilton nervously laughed and told the BBC, "I'm not sure if it's because I'm black, that's according to Ali G." It was an obvious joke, but it was an ill-advised one, and one that was lost in translation once it was recorded or written down. It resulted in a second trip to the stewards to explain his behavior, but he was spared any additional penalty. His attitude with racing. The world champions enraged post-race statements that "they're trying to stop me" in response to his contentious time penalties in the Russian Grand Prix, capped a couple of hours that were not his best. Hamilton is a master at dealing with pressure. Even when something irritates him, he manages to rise above it and do his tasks. But he has a habit of moaning non-stop throughout the race, and he may be quick to spread a me against the world mentality off the track as well. Hamilton's verbal irritability, which surfaced in Sochi, is a well-established venting mechanism that normally works in his favor. It's the equivalent of a tennis player yelling angrily on the court after making a mistake, or a footballer yelling in pain after losing a good scoring opportunity. In elite sport, bottled-up rage isn't good. However, when it comes in the form of driver-team radio discussions, the release can come across as unprofessional. That's partially due to the nature of excerpts that are played without context, and partly due to the fact that the more frustrated Hamilton becomes, the angrier he sounds. This is shown even further when Hamilton is in a sad mood after the race and takes a couple of barbs at the team. Not the best quality to have or to show to your fans and viewers. And this attitude often gets him in trouble on the track. Spraying a grid girl in the face. Yes, you heard that correctly. Hamilton, in fact, sprayed a grid girl in the face with champagne. One of Hamilton's more ridiculous conflicts, but one that still garnered media attention. Hamilton, like many other winners before him, sprayed everyone on the podium, including Liu Xing, a grid girl to his right, after winning the 2015 Chinese Grand Prix. Object, an anti-sexism organization, criticized the decision, even though Su Yung later informed the local media that she had no problem with Hamilton's activities. It was like a hurricane in a teacup. I would never ever seek to offend or try to shame someone like that, Hamilton subsequently added. Regardless, it definitely didn't look not good for the driver. His questionable off-track activities. Lewis Hamilton has been hailed as an inspiration and a role model by many. Aspiring racers look up to him, wishing to be like him and achieve the same level of success. When you're a prominent figure who is followed by tens of thousands of people, you have a lot of burden on your shoulders. It is your obligation to uphold morals and principles, and anyone who looks up to you will be motivated by your actions. However, his off-the-beaten-path behavior and activities do not always accord to this. He was investigated by the New Zealand police following the Australian Grand Prix in 2016 for recording himself while driving a Harley-Davidson. Apart from New Zealand, it is a criminal offense in other parts of the world and just plain dangerous. His license was suspended for a month in 2008 after he was caught driving at over 120 miles per hour on French highways. As a driver, he should be far more cautious and set an example. Hamilton's push for veganism. Lewis Hamilton became a vegan in 2017 and has continued to promote the cause ever since. Many people, especially athletes and drivers, are opposed to it, like Romain Grosjean. Things unfortunately took a turn for the worst when he begged with his millions of followers to go vegan, since eating meat is bad for the environment. Hamilton blamed a wide variety of factors for the environment's devastation, including agricultural activity. He also became mellow and dramatic, expressing his desire to leave everything. People ridiculed him despite the fact that he drives a Mercedes F1 car, owns sports cars for personal usage, and had his own private jet until 2018. For this, he received a lot of vitriol and abuse. The Snapchat incident. Hamilton's latest squabble began innocently enough. The world champion was chastised by some of the UK's Fleet Street reporters for using his phone during the press conference before the Japanese Grand Prix. He had sent images of himself and the unsuspecting Carlos Sainz on Snapchat with the message, "This blank is killing me," during the press conference. However, he later clarified that he had been having fun and that the problem was with the format of the press conference, not the media. If Hamilton had not brought up the event again 2 days later, the incident would have likely gone unnoticed. Hamilton issued a statement in his media print session on Saturday after Nico Rosberg narrowly beat him to pole position by 0.013 seconds, and announced he would not be answering any questions before quietly exiting. Posing with endangered animals. Hamilton, a self-proclaimed animal enthusiast, spent his summer in 2016 doing something a little different than the average driver, posing with endangered tigers on social media. He traveled to Mexico's Black Jaguar White Tiger Foundation, and his photos included him posing next to a white tiger and a video of a tiger coming up on him and play fighting while nibbling his hat. See, huge cats utilized for pictures opportunities fosters the concept that wild animals are here for human enjoyment and to do with as humans choose, rather than to be left in the wild, said Elisa Allen, director of the animal rights group People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, PETA. He is a great racer, but not really a great person. Lewis Hamilton has won at least one race every season since his debut in the sport in 2007. As a rookie, he put up a good fight against his teammate, Fernando Alonso, the double world champion. He insisted on having a significant presence in the team and not being viewed as Fernando's second fiddle. In 2007, he was a title candidate, but he lost by 1 point. However, after 2007, Alonso's fans developed an unfavorable attitude towards him. He notably defeated Felipe Massa to win the title in 2008, further enraging the Tifosi. Despite the Ferrari team finally developing a competitive car after a long time, he beat Sebastian Vettel in 2018. His success has attracted a slew of critics who are more irritated by him defeating their favorite team and driver than by him as a whole. As a result, he is occasionally booed. And there you have it, everything you need to know surrounding Lewis Hamilton and his most controversial moments to date. Make sure to let us know your thoughts down below. Did we miss anything? Which one surprised you the most? But if you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss any of our new and upcoming content. Thanks for watching.